Alright, welcome back to Fasterproms YouTube channel. We are going to kind of mock up everything and get the stance figured out where we're going to put things with the S10 today. We got a long ways to go, but this is really where it starts. We want to kind of share with you guys what the look that we're kind of after. We might change wheels from here. We got a whole lot of things to do. So we're going to try and get it a little lower. Try and maybe stick some fender flares on it. We're going to put the motor in and see what things look like.
Dang it, man. Squirrel didn't tell us that this thing had a locking wheel lug on there.
Oh, dude, that was easy. I seen somebody mess around with them for like an hour and a half and then destroy a wheel. I was hoping we weren't going to be involved with anything like that. All right, so we're finagling away to try and get this thing ultra slammed so that we can kind of get the idea of what the look is supposed to look like. But, you know, when you get it lower, we're trying to be like lower, 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 and I'm like, more lower. You know, Men in Black, where the guy's like, more sugar. You know, somebody said a long time ago, I look just like that guy Edgar from there. It's haunted me my whole life. That's pretty freaking low, man. I like that. That's pretty low. On the ground, scraping his undercarriage. Now we're talking.
Come on back, come on back, come on. All right. Oh, that's good right there. Whoa.
All right, so as you said, you think that's going to be about 4 inches higher?
Yeah, just because you got to position the factory mount up here for the 6-cylinder, and then your LS, LT mount, whatever we go with, is going to be lower in the block.
So pretty much we're making like a SEMA car right now, something that looks good but probably doesn't run here. All right, that's definitely a little wild. That's probably a little wider than I want to go, but that looks, it's getting there. So we're trying to mock up these fender flares, which I got for another application altogether. That one right there, after we lowered it back down, it is not at all where it needs to be, but we're gonna try and get that figured out here in a moment. So we are kind of thinking somewhere about maybe a 315 all the way around. That looks ridiculous. I like it. So this was on Leroy, and it's got so much stickum on it, you can roll it wherever you want, it's totally glued to the floor. All right, so we're gonna tape up those and try and get them all mocked up here next and really get an idea what this thing's gonna look like. Okay, not exactly that, and not exactly that. Something in between the two. Okay, so if we could find some sort of way to make that taper down in a nice fashion, if you guys happen to know of anything, great. Not exactly looking for like Rocket Bunny type stuff, but kind of similar looking. Definitely not that kind of money. Okay, so guys, we are at the very beginning of our conversion on this twin turbo S10 here, and we kind of had our first little, you know, caveat, I guess you could say, trying to figure out exactly what we could do. So guys, really common thing, what you could do with any LS is take a exhaust manifold and kind of flip it the other direction, and it will work just fine. However, on the LT, the flange is a little bit different, and kind of, what was it, the bolt pattern was a little bit different as well?
We have an offset bolt pattern, which actually does offset the porch. They actually favor the back on this, I believe.
Yeah, so when we kind of first started working on the LTs back in 2014, we were noticing that, man, it's not exactly modular. The bolt pattern on the flange is a little bit different. And so if you wanted to flip it, it's not exactly going to work the way that you would hope. So our kind of solution was, hey, we can probably cut that flange off and then the ports will still be in the same place. So that's kind of what we did. So by leaving it like this, in other words, we have a lot less welding that we have to do. We have less gaps to fill. Everything looks like it's going to fit a lot better. There's still some small little areas. So we go in like right there, there's some small little areas, but that's really not that big of a deal. We can work with that as opposed to completely building a whole different exhaust manifold for that matter. It'll work pretty good. So now with these off, yeah, you can kind of see the D shape a little bit, but I think this is going to be our best solution. Next thing after that, so let's put that back up there. We've got to figure out where the turbo is going to be, the height of where that's going to be, and where we're going to put the wastegate. So we're kind of thinking about cutting an area right here, or depending on where the turbo sits and where the hood is, we had a given area where we want that turbo to fit. So guys, we're just going to mock it up here for right now, but ideally if you're doing anything like this, we would certainly want to cut those down, cut that flange really nice and flush, and
not to mention clean it.
Yeah, not to mention clean it, absolutely. All right, that's fine. I think so. Just the, yeah. Oh, that guy right there, yeah. I've said many times, MIG welding is about as easy as like any monkey can do it, and it really is that easy. Now, TIG welding, on the other hand, is a freaking art. This should stay. We got our good tack right there. We're gonna come back and weld up the whole thing later. So right now, this is just for mocking up the turbo. So, all right, so guys, we had cut this apart and then kind of flipped it And turns out the way that this kind of laid out, it was sticking it kind of right about here, and it was kind of right up on the inner fender there. We wanted to just kick these to the curb. We kind of thought about the other exhaust manifold that we have here. So I've always wanted to do something with this manifold, and Laz knows this. I've been talking about doing it forever. This right here is an Ls7 manifold. Now we are going to still have to cut off that flange and weld in that flange right there, but this is a very large port, pretty much like a shorty header. Kind of had to cut this and then bend up the flange. So if you look down in there, we've cut this and then basically bent it so that we can now stick our turbos where it needs to be. Okay, so the next part of this exhaust manifold is this part goes down to the rest of the exhaust. And what we've done here is we're gonna cut this, and we'll probably weld in our T3 flange right there to hold the turbo. And right now we just have kind of mocked up a stud right here where we can bolt the turbo on, get an idea what it's gonna look like.
George, you're donating your intercooler. That's mighty, really cool of you, dude. Really cool.
All right, so this is a pretty standard, like $150, 31-inch, and it's got a 3-inch core intercooler you would find on eBay. This is pretty much a regular old import one that you would see and use. We were kind of thinking about cutting this out, possibly running a longer intercooler core. A lot of people kind of will run an intercooler, and it has a very short cross-sectional area. What we were going to do is also what they call this backdoor. So it goes in and it kind of hits a wall and then disperses. So what we want to do is we want to have the turbos kind of come in and together and then hit that wall and then disperse across evenly. But we do want to have as much cross-sectional area as possible so that it has plenty of time to cool. Not too bad down in there. Might even mount it a little bit lower. We're kind of thinking about taking the radiator and putting the radiator in the back of the bed. Not sure if we're going to do that or not, but that is going to require a lot more engineering, but there's a whole lot of space back there that's not being utilized. Okay, so these are LT1 valve covers. We will probably run these, and we don't want to have any wire problems or anything like that, so we're kind of thinking about mounting the coils up off of here, possibly putting a bracket up there, and then running the wires over and down so we don't melt them on the header or anything like that. So it took us a little bit of time to try and get the positioning just right. So when we're sitting there, we're kind of looking at the turbos. That is going to be awesome. We really wanted to have half the turbo kind of hanging up on the outside of the hood, and we're kind of thinking about having a duct going down into the turbos. So when we cut these exhaust manifolds and when we decided to run with this exhaust manifold, a lot of this was kind of hinging on the turbo placement, and we know that we have a major problem with where the brake booster was and the master cylinder. So we're definitely going to have to go some other direction with the brakes, but the positioning of where the turbos is right here, right now, is perfect. Love the way that that looks.
I think we should set the intake on there.
Hell yeah. Dude, that looks wicked, man. Yeah, somehow. And another thing that what we can do, yeah, we can cut that and we kind of have that forward facing. That would be pretty awesome, because we're just still going to need to have our coil mounts right there. So we were messing around a little bit earlier, and Laz was like putting the electrical tape on the lights, kind of just like the Hoonigan truck. It looks so goofy. I freaking love it, though. All right, so right now we're trying to get everything somewhat symmetric, just kind of tweaking things around, get an idea where exactly fore and aft and right and left of where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so we're an inch off, and we definitely got a long ways to go with this, but what is absolutely paramount is wastegate placement and how we're going to be able to kind of expel as much of those vapors as possible without having boost creep. So we've kind of explored the idea of cutting either right here or putting something down in there so that we can kind of vent. And we kind of wanted to be able to vent at the hood with the gate. The gate possibly venting through the hood and the downpipe going through and either somewhere maybe down in there, having that little side hater pipe in a way. Okay, so with the gate, you can kind of remotely mount that. The point is that we need to bleed off exhaust so that we don't overspin the turbo. We want to be able to have a good controlled amount of boost, not creep.
I'm looking at if we did a remote coming off of the driver's side, if, you know, because we're gonna have to kind of come up a little bit and around. You want to stay with the flow.
All right, let's take a look at the car. Let's take a look at the one that we got outside. Let's look at that real fast. So this is pretty neat. We got a really good example here to take a look at, and this thing is pretty darn sexy. Now this thing is freaking sick. So the way that they have the gates mounted there is coming off the manifold right there and then kind of going down in there. This is a lot different in the fact that this is an LS1 car, so it's a lot easier to deal with the manifold to just flip them upside down. We're gonna have a lot more complexities with this, but no problem whatsoever. Super cool. I think it's a 67 C10. It's got a 5.3. I don't remember the power this made, but I freaking love the Magnum turbos on this. Those are some baller freaking turbos. Twin 62s. This thing can easily make 800 wheel with this turbo setup. Yeah, I love the way that the gates are coming straight off, but I do not want to have the gate going back into the downpipe. We want to be able to have the gate venting to atmosphere for one. So another thing about having the gate going back into the downpipe is that that downpipe only flows so much. And then furthermore, you're trying to cram even more down in there from all of what the turbo is generating. So that you don't run into the limitation of what that downpipe is, venting it to atmosphere can be worth a substantial amount of power and decrease in back pressure. So this is a pretty sweet setup. I love the way that it is it's set up and that we're getting the exhaust out like that, but we want to be able to just vent to atmosphere. Pretty freaking beautiful, man. So guys, a little while ago, we had a customer and friend, Alex, who's from Ready for Battle. They gifted us with these turbos and these wastegates. So that was an awesome blessing. He was like, man, that's super cool what you guys are doing for veterans. And we want to just give you some of the stuff we got lying around in the garage. So he said out of these same turbos in a 350Z that he had swapped, I believe it had a 6-liter in it, he seemed to be like 830 or something to the tires. That would be perfect for what we want to make. I mean, but realistically, 750 to 800 was the goal that I wanted to have. So we got these turbos that were a gift from him, these gates, and we got a whole bunch of other parts to make this project happen. So there's so many different ways to go about this. There's not necessarily a right and a wrong. I mean, there kind of is, but this is really preference. We want it to look good. We want it to be able to function well. So trying to, you know, select the right path, and there's literally hundreds of different scenarios of what we have to kind of come up with and kind of guide ourselves through this and decide, hey, we're going to go this way, we're not going to go this way. But that's what this is all about. So all this is just in the mock-up stage right now. None of this stuff is totally, you know, permanent. This is the decision-making process. We're selecting the parts, where they're going to go, and how they're going to flow. So heat management is one of the biggest problems with the turbo system. You know, we don't have OEM-style budgets of trying to get this thing to fit and work, but we definitely can make it work. So we're trying to not heat soak certain things that shouldn't be, and we're trying to keep certain things hot that you want to be. So it is extremely important for the exhaust to be hot, but we want our intake air charge to be cool. We don't want to melt our intake manifold or spark plugs or anything like that. So placement is absolute paramount. All right, so this right here is the manifold that came off of the Porcupotamus. So that is a native truck manifold. That thing should generate a lot of torque. And if it's anything like the Trailblazer SS intake manifold, from what Sloppy Mechanics we've learned from his dyno stuff, that should yield the most bottom end, mid-range torque, and top end pretty well. However, this one, not that either manifold is pretty. Yeah, they're certainly not the prettiest of manifolds. That one might lose a little bit of bottom end torque, but we might gain a little bit of top end horsepower. So that is the factory intake manifold off of any Camaro or any Corvette with an LT-based motor. Not sure if I like it more or not, but it looks like a stubby version leg of one of those things in Star Wars, you know? Like the Ewoks were fighting. All right, so from this perspective right here, I really do love the way that the turbos are mounted right here, but I think that we just kind of agreed that we need to move them forward just a couple inches, because this is going to be difficult to try and turn down and...
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Realistically, we would like to have a much larger downpipe. I mean, a 3-inch is going to be probably woefully inadequate, but a 3.5 might be what we need to do. But we just don't have the room in order to get what we want to get done. So that being said, we want to be able to have our exhaust exit, but we still do want to possibly be able to run the length of the vehicle when we're under vacuum. If you guys can just soak it in right there, that is a sick freaking stance with the whole thing. It's slammed, it's wide. We've got the idea of what we want to do. Okay, so now we're moving the turbos up forward on the front facing flange, trying to see what we can get to fit. If maybe this can buy us a couple inches. There's no reason we can't be able to have that go straight like that. Yeah, I like that a lot better. It's like 99. Yeah, I think that is a little bit better. I think I mean, that couple inches goes a long way. Moving this forward a little bit, I think okay, so you just took the flanges and this one you flip back forward like that. So that's pretty sweet, man. That is definitely better. Not that we're going to do this on this, but I've seen some pretty cool stuff in the fact that people will cut right in here to put their gate. And if you are very limited on space, that is a possibility. So Point is, anywhere that you can alleviate pressure, but you got to think of the flow path of where that's going. So if you took an area and you were just like venting a single cylinder, that's not nearly as effective as grabbing the whole thing and averaging a lot less flow to control your overall flow. It is extremely crucial. I cannot say how important that is in order to get the correct placement of the gate and or venting to atmosphere. Kind of haven't even thought about what we're going to do for aero yet. That would be pretty cool to have some sort of active aero, some sort of redneck active aero. That'd be pretty sharp. Have like a pedal that you push and the wing goes up or something. Yeah. Let's get this in here.
Still smells like a turtle tank a little bit. Clearly, we can see now. So much better. All right, so me being a tuner nerd, really, I really wanted to have the gates vent through the hood. So the fact that you can kind of get the exhaust plume coming out through both sides, I thought that would be pretty sick. And then furthermore, you know, when we're doing that, we can kind of see if it's spark knocking. So when we watch the exhaust plume and it's going to have a black puff, that's going to basically show me, hey, it's spark knocking. Not that I'm going to have it on the razor's edge all the time, but it's just something that it's kind of a little safety measure that I'd like to see.
All right, so something like that is kind of what we're after right there. And let's just think of it in terms of if we have a 3-inch downpipe. If a 3-inch downpipe can flow roughly about 400 horsepower worth of air, and we can kind of bypass some of that exhaust so that we're not running into a restriction, that would be the ideal scenario of what we would want to do. By venting our wastegate to atmosphere and minimalizing the amount of flow that's going through that, we can now be able to support a little bit more through our downpipe. So guys, I hope you like our project here. This is, again, the very, very early stages. I mean, right now it's a little bit of an ugly duckling, but it's going to turn into a swan. Lots of other stuff that we might need some help with. We definitely need some help to keep us from some of the pitfalls and stuff. I think Motion Raceworks actually has a very thin steering shaft right there that we might look into, but we have some other things that we need to figure out about the brakes and the brake booster and all that.
Firewall brake stuff, but we need to research it.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of research here in order to be able to make all this happen, but man, I'm freaking excited the way that that thing looks. It's going to be nasty. I can't wait to be doing like 4-wheel freaking donuts and drifts and just, oh man, just hitting the big rah, 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 rah. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So guys, we have obtained a Trailblazer SS transfer case and a TR6060 out of like a 14 ZL1. This is kind of interesting in the fact that I think we have to use a Corvette main shaft, and that's gonna go straight into the transfer case. And RPM has a way of adapting that. LOJ is going to be making an adapter plate to be able to bolt in the Trailblazer SS transfer case to a TR6060. So we're hoping that you guys will jump on board, and a whole bunch of you guys in a very short time are going to be building something like this. So this is definitely the most unusual, most bizarre project that we've kind of undertaken. And I've never built a car anything like this. Laz hasn't. Laz is a truck guy, really, and George, of course, is a truck guy. You know, and Squirrel's a truck guy for sure. This is definitely something that we are pretty darn excited about. We cannot wait to see how this thing is going to turn out. It's going to be a freaking blast. I cannot wait to do some rev limit 4-wheel drive launches. Oh man, it's going to be so much fun. Freaking make some power. I want to go tear up some Porsches on the road course, man. This is going to be so much fun. Thanks for watching. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Okay, come on. Come on. Oh. 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 Oh.